Hi, this is Alan with Elite Home Inspections, and today outside the snow and the wind, I wish I was inside doing the inspection, but I haven't got to that part yet. Anyway, this house has two heat pumps, a 4-ton unit which covers the basement and the first floor, and a 3-ton unit which covers the second floor. One interesting note, if you look at the model numbers on heat pumps and you see a 36, that would indicate a 3-ton unit. It's typically 12,000. Every 12,000 indicates 1 ton. If you see a 42, it's 3.5 tons. So that's just one way that you can go out and look at your heat pump or the house that you're looking at and get an indication of the size of the unit. And keep in mind that the outdoor unit will be larger for a heat pump than it typically will be for an AC unit. This particular unit, the 3-ton unit, is in operation as well as the 4-ton. The main disconnects are operational and we're in good shape. I already checked those prior to starting the video. The suction line is the line that's got the insulation over it, and back here in the back it's got a little nick in it. Well, I touched the line and it's very hot coming out, so it's telling me that it's transferring heat into the indoors. Heat pumps are very efficient down to about freezing, and that's when they really start dropping off in their efficiency and where you'll need a backup or an auxiliary heat. When your outdoor unit's running solely by itself, that's called stage 1. The stage 2 is where you have a supplemental heat kicking in. The 3-ton unit has an electric backup. The 4-ton has a propane backup. So that's called a dual fuel. It's a very efficient backup system, and it's something that I would highly recommend looking into. The 4-ton unit, you can see that there's insulation on the suction line, that everything's secure to the building. All the wall penetrations are sealed up, so it looks good. Another thing you want to look for around heat pumps, both units are level, or pretty close to being level, and they're cleared around them. There's no shrubs, there's no bushes. We want to make sure that snow doesn't accumulate up around the lower portion of it. You will notice that the coils are starting to ice up a little bit. If we get real lucky, maybe the units will go into the defrost cycle. When they go into the defrost cycle, you'll see the fan stop, you'll hear some buzzing, some humming, and you might even see steam coming out of the top of the units. That's where it goes basically into an air conditioning mode to build up pressure and heat to melt those coils to make it more efficient. A lot of times that's taken care of by a timer. In some of your more efficient, energy efficient units, it's taken care of by sensors that tell it when it's needed. A couple things here on the side of the house. This is the air intake for the propane backup on the 4-ton unit, and it's got a screen in it to keep birds and larger items from being sucked into it. This is the discharge. If this was in operation, you'd see probably steam coming out of it. So that's what tells you that this is a high efficiency unit. Plus, I've already seen the inside unit. Here we have twin condensation drains, and these are covered by cover the second floor air handler, the one in the attic. This one here, I can tell by seeing the mineral deposits on the side of it that this is the primary condensation drain. This drain here is just a backup, covers the pan, and if the main drain becomes clogged, then water is going to start dripping out of this. One recommendation that I would make to the homeowner is maybe marking this in some manner, maybe putting a little bit of red paint on it or putting some red electrical tape. So that way if you see water dripping out of this, you know that the main drain is clogged up and that you need to take immediate action before the backup drain becomes clogged. Another thing that's pretty obvious here and you need to keep into consideration, we have the dryer vent here. And dryer vents close to air conditioning units or heat pumps can have a very detrimental effect to that unit. I took some time and looked at the individual fins, looked around the unit, and I don't see any buildup of lint, so that's a good thing. But what you want to make sure of is that when this discharges, if it's pumping a bunch of heat and dirt into your unit, then that can affect the efficiency of it, cause the unit to work harder, shorten the life of it. It can be very detrimental to the particular unit. So if this was closer and presenting a problem, I would definitely recommend that some type of deflector was put on that to move that away from discharging into the unit. So that's about it. Twin heat pumps. I hope this tells you a little bit more about them, educates you about them. When I checked the indoor temperature, the output for both of these units on a day where it was in the 30s was right at in the mid 90s, which is warm for a heat pump. Remember, heat pumps put out air closer to your body temperature, and sometimes they'll just feel cold, but it'll get your heat to whatever you need. On the backup, the electric was at 130 degrees, and so was the propane backup. They both put out temperatures in the 130 plus range, so that's very typical. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me. Again, that's Elite Home Inspections, covering the greater Louisville area. The phone number is 502-648-9294, or you can find us on the web at elitehomeinspections.net. Thank you.